Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you all so much for joining today. My name is Kristen McKnight. I work here at WGU in our Office of Career Professional Development, and I'm so excited that we have Commerce Bank here with us today to go over their presentation on budgeting to help educate us all a little bit about budgeting. I will go ahead and toss it over to Ashley Stevenson with Commerce Bank to start sharing with us and help us learn a little bit more. Ashley?
Thank you so much, Kristen. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Stevenson, and I'm with Commerce Bank, and I'm the Senior Workplace Banking Specialist here in Kansas City. And I've been with the bank just over 5 years. Also joining me today is Matt Edmond. So he is our Workplace Banking Implementation Manager, and he'll be on to assist with dropping some helpful information in the chat and also be helping us with answering some questions. So we receive aggregate data, which is not linked to any personal information from those of you that use the platform currently. We have learned that your top financial stressors are debt, emergencies, and saving for goals. This is why we're here today to help you learn more about budgeting. So during this session and in taking the course, you will first learn why budgeting is a crucial component of any financial wellness effort and what should be included when building a budget. Next, you will be guided through exercises to help you assess your financial situation and create a customized budget based on your unique goals. Lastly, you will look ahead for opportunities to utilize your budget in everyday finance, build solid spending and saving habits, and make positive changes that will continually improve your financial health. All right, so here's our agenda for today. So first, we're going to talk about why financial wellness is crucial. Then we will dive into what My Milestones really is and how the platform can help support your goals. Following that, we will be going through a live demo of the platform and go in and complete the budgeting course together. And then lastly, we will have a call to action for all of you, and we will end the presentation with a Q&A session and then leave you with contact information if you happen to develop questions about the presentation as you're diving into the platform on your own. Okay, so the reason we are here today is WGU, a wonderful organization who cares about your financial well-being, has collaborated with us to bring in My Milestones as a free benefit to all of you. So My Milestones is an interactive financial wellness platform, and it provides education on several different financial topics. And then it delivers that education in the way that you like to learn best. So with My Milestones, users will be able to take control of their personal finances. So with that being said, Matt, we're ready for our first question to be dropped in the chat. So what grade would you give yourself, A, B, C, D, or F, when it comes to your own personal finances? Thanks so much, Matt, for dropping that in the chat. If you're comfortable answering the question, go ahead and do so in the chat. But if you're not, no worries, and just decide what grade you would give yourself in your head. So I'll give you all a few moments to think about that. And I see a lot coming through. Thank you so much. We've got a D, we've got a B, got an F. That's okay. Thanks for being honest. We're going to help you with that. C, a couple C's. Okay, great. Thank you so much for that participation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you the why behind why My Milestones is such a great benefit to all of its users. So most of the time when we think of benefits, we think of health and mental wellness, but financial wellness can really have a huge impact on us all as well. So we were curious to see what grade you would give yourself when it comes to your own personal financial knowledge. So shockingly enough, 41% of American adults said that they deserve no better than a C when it comes to their own personal financial knowledge. So My Milestones will really give all of its users the ability to improve their grade and feel less stressed about their finances. Okay, so we really want to start out by telling you what My Milestones really is. So My Milestones is a financial wellness platform that provides objective, interactive tools, education, and solutions to empower users to take control of their finances. So later, we will show you how you can use a variety of different learning mediums, since we know everybody likes to learn in different ways, to access content that is relevant to you. If you have any questions thus far, as a reminder, please go ahead and throw them in the chat, and we'll make sure that they all get addressed by the end of the session today. Okay, so we're getting ready to move into our live demo. We are going to go over some of our favorite features on My Milestones, and I'm curious if any of you have already signed up for My Milestones. We did launch the platform with your organization back in October, and we did hold a discovery session, and I believe some other communication has gone out. So please go ahead and go to the React button in the meeting controls at the top of the meeting view and give us a heart if you've already signed up for My Milestones. If not, no worries. Great, I see some hearts. We are here to assist you in doing so. So we would really love it if you could please follow along with us during this demo. So if you haven't already, please take out your phone and scan the QR code now through your camera application, or you can visit the URL that Matt's going to drop in the chat on your own computer. So you will click sign up if you're new, or log in if you've already signed up for the platform. So if you're new to My Milestones, it will ask for your name, email, and for you to create a password. If you are on your phone, it will prompt you to sign up when you scan the QR code. But if you just need to log back in, please click the 3 black lines on the top left-hand side of your phone screen, and then you will see the login option. I'll give everyone just a few more minutes to go ahead and sign up or log in, and then we can all take a look at the platform together. Please let us know if you need any help. That's what we're here for. And go ahead and react by giving us a heart or letting us know you're in the platform by typing I'm in the chat, and then we'll know when we can go ahead and move on. So I'm going to give you just a few moments until I start seeing some chats coming through saying that you're in, or some hearts showing me that you're in. Great. Thank you so much. I see a couple I'm in. Thank you so much, Raphael and Michael. And I see some hearts. So we will go ahead and move on to the live demo. Okay, so you are going to see this screen, which is what your dashboard is going to look like. Mine might look a little different because I've gone ahead and completed some of these tasks. As you can see, it says your next priority, 3 out of 4 completed. So I'm going to draw your attention to the very bottom where it says discover your money personality in the green. As you can see, mine is grayed out because I've already completed that. But this is a really cool feature of My Milestones. So this actually helps you dig deep into the psychology behind why you feel the way that you feel about money, and really kind of dive into your savings and spending habits. So that tends to be really eye-opening for some folks that don't normally think of those types of things. Move your attention to the Get Recommendations, which is also grayed out with the purple line across it. So this is a really important feature. It's called your Financial Wellness Checkup. This is a very brief questionnaire that you would want to start out doing. The reason that this is important is because this is how My Milestones learns what is important to you when it comes to your personal finances, and really gives you personalized recommendations based on your unique situation. Also, there is a customized welcome from Western Governors University, which is the blue bar that's also grayed out because I've went ahead and viewed that welcome message. But I'm going to give you a view of what your dashboard is going to look like when it transforms after you've completed all 4 out of 4 of these tasks. So we're going to go ahead and go up to the top where it says set your streak goal. And we're going to go ahead and click start task to go ahead and set a streak goal. So I don't know if you're anything like me, but I really enjoy making lists and crossing off items that I've completed. So if you tend to like checking off boxes, you will really like this activity of setting a streak goal. I'm going to set a streak goal to make sure that I come back and interact with My Milestones daily. We're going to go ahead and confirm, and we're going to watch how the dashboard changes. Okay, so this actually shows me that I have finished all of my priority tasks. It showed that I have earned 150 points plus 25 points for completing that. And we're going to go ahead and click continue. This now unlocks your dashboard to where it's going to start showing you daily tasks to help grow your financial knowledge. It's also going to show you monthly tasks that are really aimed at supporting your financial wellness journey. And then it shows that January's focus is budgeting, which is perfect because that's exactly why we're doing budgeting with you here today. So every month it's going to highlight a financial wellness topic, and tasks marked with this icon will relate to that chosen topic. So we're going to go ahead and move back to the dashboard. And as you can see, you get a completely different look and feel of the dashboard that includes all of those daily and monthly tasks. A couple other things that I would like to highlight on the dashboard before we move into the budgeting course is the favorites on the left-hand side of your screen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And here is where I have actually favorited content that we're going to use during today's session. The great thing about this is as you're navigating through the platform, you might see content that is interesting to you, but maybe you don't have the time to consume it. You can go ahead and hover over whatever item it is. And as you can see, you can click that red heart. That is going to move everything to the favorite section of your dashboard. And as you can see, I've got the budgeting tool that we're going to go over. Also, we're going to go through the budgeting course. And then there's also a start here guide that is going to be a part of your call to action that we'd like you to read after the course is over. Couple other things that I'd like to highlight on the dashboard is you can see at the top, you can toggle between English and Spanish if that's something that's helpful for you. There's also a link on the top right-hand side to join Handshake, so it will take you to WGU's internal website. Also at the bottom, you can see where it says from Western Governors University, there is a link to visit Commerce Bank's website. There is a link to email careers@wgu.edu, as well as a link to visit the Career Services website. And then there's also a tab to click on to visit more commerce solutions. So we're going to go ahead and move into the budgeting course, which we're going to complete together. So if you are on your computer or your mobile phone, you're going to want to click on the magnifying glass at the top. And that's when we're going to type in budgeting. As you can see, before you click enter, it will show you some content like the creating a budget and sticking to it course that we're getting ready to complete right now. It's also going to show you some other popular content, but I'm also going to click enter on that so you can see what that looks like in a different view as well. So this shows all of the courses that are going to be included that reference budgeting. And for today, we are going to go through and do the creating a budget and sticking to it course together. Okay, so when you click on a course in My Milestones, it's going to tell you more about the course, and it's also going to tell you what you'll learn. So in this course today, you're going to learn income, expenses, and other components of a budget. You're going to learn how to evaluate your needs versus your wants. We're going to be analyzing spending behaviors, utilizing smart shopping and green living, learn why you need a budget, how to create a personal budget, recognize opportunities to spend less, and methods for reducing expenses. As you'll see, anytime you click on any of these courses, it will give you a course overview over on your right-hand side. So as you can see, this particular course is 15 minutes long. There's also levels. So there's beginning, intermediate, and advanced level. This one in particular is a beginning level course. And then it will tell you what's included in the course. So there is a personalized course setup, which means it's going to ask us some questions to start out, which is really going to check our knowledge. And then it's going to build the course based on how we answered those questions. There's going to be 7 minutes of on-demand video that we'll watch together, 2 different interactive exercises. There's going to be quizzes that do contain immediate feedback. And then you will get a personalized action plan and certificate after you move through the course. So we're going to go ahead and click on retake course. We're going to say that this has changed, and we're going to restart this since I've already taken this before, but we're just going to start from scratch. Okay, so this is starting the knowledge check. So we're going to start out by answering just a few questions. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and put in answers here. But as we get later on into the quiz, I am going to ask for your participation. So when we get there, I will have you just type the answers into the chat. But for now, before we get started, it's going to ask us how we feel about the ability to create and stick to a budget. I'm going to say we're not so confident at this point. So it says that's okay. Sticking to a budget can be tricky, but we'll really show you how to use it as a tool to meet your goals. Okay, so are you currently a student? We are going to say yes, because I know most of you are all students. Okay, it says when I was born, it automatically typed that in because it's something that I entered in my financial wellness checkup. So now you all get to see how old I am. Okay, so have you ever created a personal budget? We're going to go ahead and say no in this situation. Are you usually able to pay your monthly bills and expenses without going into debt? We're going to go ahead and say, yes, we are. Okay, so after paying monthly bills and expenses, is there any money left over to put towards savings or investing? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Okay, so it says we're almost ready to create your personalized course. These last few questions will assess your baseline level of knowledge on the subjects covered in the course. Okay, so here's where I am going to ask for your help answering these questions. So if you could go ahead and just type in the answer in the chat. So using a budget can help you form good financial habits, achieve life goals, control your money, or all of the above. Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. We've got all of the above. We've got lots of all of the aboves coming through. So we're going to click on that. Okay, great job, everyone. That is correct. So moving on to the next one. So when you're making a budget, which of the following should not count as a source of income? Would it be your salary, your bonuses and tips, your monthly utility bills, or your pension or Social Security? What do we think? Great. We've got utility bills. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, great job, everyone. That one is correct again. Okay, so which of the following expenses can you analyze to find areas to spend less money? So variable expenses, periodic and variable expenses, periodic expenses, or fixed expenses. Okay, thank you so much, Christina. We're going to go with periodic and variable expenses. Awesome job. That one is correct again. We're on a roll. Okay, so which of the following habits is least likely to help you spend less? So least likely. So using a grocery list, avoiding tempting sales, buying coffee every day, paying bills on time. What do we think? Coffee. All right, let's check that. Okay, great job. Correct. Okay, so now it is building our personalized course. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start out with this video on why do I need a budget?
Budgeting. It's something you hear about a lot. But unless you've ever maintained a budget of your own, the benefits of using one may seem a little obscure. To give you a sense of just how useful a budget can be, let's take a look at the basics. First off, budgeting puts you in far greater control of your money by enabling you to track your income and spending in an organized way. Put simply, having a budget and sticking to it makes it a lot harder to overspend or slip into debt. Secondly, budgeting is a great way to help you reach certain short and long-term goals. Have a dream vacation you want to go on, or perhaps there's a house or a car you want to buy, or maybe there are some student loans you'd like to pay off before you graduate. Well, achieving any of these milestones will be a lot easier with the help of a budget. But it's not only the good things in life that a budget can help you save for. There are sometimes unforeseen events, such as accidents or illnesses, for which you should also be thinking ahead. With a budget, it's much easier to put aside money for emergencies such as these, so that if anything should ever happen, you'll have the financial resources to deal with the situation. And finally, maintaining a budget is also just really important from a life skills perspective. Getting in the habit of managing your money from a young age is perhaps the best way to set yourself up for a more financially secure future. We hope we've managed to inform you about the many benefits of using a budget and inspired you to create your own.
All right, thank you so much for taking some time to watch that video. We're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so next question. Using a budget can help you achieve both short and long-term goals. Do we think that is true or false? Thank you so much, Jennifer. True. Let's go ahead and submit that. All right, awesome job. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Okay, so next we've got a poll. So for a large majority of people, the biggest expense in their monthly budget is housing. Let's imagine that you live in your dream house for free. Housing aside, what would be your biggest expense? I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick school or education for this group and go ahead and submit. Okay, so 28% of people said school or education. Okay, so next we're going to go into really where does your money go? So if you've never created a budget before, it's really hard to know exactly how your spending is adding up. It's possible that your biggest expenses could surprise you when you actually go ahead and write everything down. Okay, so this is showing how much do my daily expenses really cost over time. So if you eat out every day for lunch, you'll notice that it really quickly adds up over time. So we're going to go ahead and learn more about the long-term impact of the decisions. Okay, so at the end of the month, you go in and check your bank statement and you learn that you've spent $611 on lunch just this month. On the other hand, you have a friend who makes their lunch at home. Your friend makes the same exact meal at home, costing them about $4.31. Over the same month as you, your friend only spends $129, while you spend $611. So at the end of the year, you learn you've spent over $7,300 just on eating out for lunch, and your friend has spent about $1,550, and they look a little bit healthier too. That's kind of rude, but. Okay, so you do the math and realize that at this rate, you'll spend about $73,300 over 10 years just on eating out for lunch, and your friend will spend only about $15,500, and you begin to wonder what you could have done with all that extra money. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this group could definitely use that extra money to put towards school expenses or paying off student loan debt. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move forward. So next we're going to go into really what makes up your budget. So as a student, there are a variety of income sources and expenses to really account for when it comes to creating your own budget. So let's take a look at some of those factors so you can make sure to include those. Okay, we're going to go ahead and watch this video of the components of a budget.
In order to set up a budget, you first need to know all the various components that go into one. And the best place to begin is with your income, because your income is the biggest determining factor of how much money you'll have to work with in your budget. It's important that you take the time to calculate exactly how much you earn each month. For some people, however, this isn't so simple. Oftentimes, a person's income doesn't exclusively come from their salary or wages. It may also come from other sources, such as financial aid, child support, a pension, or Social Security benefits. To complicate matters further, sources of income may fluctuate from one month to the next. For instance, if your wages include tips or commission. So when calculating your income, be sure to take into account a monthly average of all your sources of revenue. Next, you're going to need to work out your expenditures. For most people, these can be broken into three clear categories: fixed expenses, variable expenses, and periodic expenses. Fixed expenses are all the things that you're obligated to pay for and whose prices are typically not negotiable. Common examples include rent, mortgage payments, insurance payments, car payments, and tuition. Your variable expenses, on the other hand, are a little more flexible. They include all the everyday expenses you're obligated to pay for, such as groceries and utilities, as well as the optional things like dining out and entertainment. To account for variable expenses on your budget sheet, you'll have to estimate the average. Lastly, there's periodic expenses, which include all those things that typically pop up once or twice throughout the year, such as medical expenses, repairs, gifts, auto registration, and any tax debt payments. These are the most difficult to estimate on a monthly basis, but it is important not to exclude them. Once you've tallied up your fixed, variable, and periodic expenses, you'll need to weigh them against your income to determine whether you're saving money, breaking even, or losing money. From there, you'll be able to draw up a budget that'll help you to keep track of your income and expenditures and to assure that you're staying financially ahead.
All right, thank you so much for watching that video of the different components of a budget. We're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, we've got another quiz question. So when you're calculating your income to make a budget, which of the following sources should you consider? All of your current sources of income, only your monthly salary, only your pension or Social Security, or only your bonuses and tips? Which one do we think? All income sources. Thank you so much, Christina. We're going to go with that. Okay, correct. Awesome job. Okay, so now we're ready to really look at our spending. So now that we know what we'll need to include in our budget, we're really ready to put it to work. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is my very favorite tool on the platform. So this is the budgeting tool. So this one actually allows you to type in or use the sliding scale to put in different topics that fall underneath your budget. So first would be your monthly income. So you have the opportunity to put in how much you make, as well as how much your spouse or partner or anybody else that may be contributing to the household makes. Next, it's got a portion for monthly savings and goals. So it wants to know what kind of goals are you saving for. I know that one of your top stressors was saving for emergencies. So same. And I've went ahead and started an emergency fund. So currently I have $500 in my emergency fund and my target amount is $5,000. I really want to hit that by December of 2027. And then after we look at the monthly net, after we get through this budgeting tool, I'm going to show you how you can edit that if we have any leftover money at the end of the month. So next, there's a portion for extra money that you may be putting towards your retirement or investing. So I went ahead and typed a total in there. Also thinking of your monthly expenses. So how much do you spend every month? So we've got a space for your mortgage and rent. There's also a space for any HOA fees, homeowner or rental insurance, property taxes, home maintenance. We've got a total in there for utility bills monthly. How much are you spending on your TV service, internet, or phone bills? Groceries every month, and then also streaming. So what I did to get streaming to come up is I actually clicked on add a new expense. So you can actually put in any expense that's not listed here, as well as your monthly expense amount, and then click update budget, and it will do that for you, which is how I got the streaming right here. Streaming is really important to look at because a lot of times when you're doing this budget and you're thinking about the streaming services or the subscriptions that you do have, maybe you aren't utilizing some of them. So it's a great opportunity to end up with some extra money monthly to cancel those subscriptions or streaming services that you're not utilizing. There's also a section in here for childcare, education, pet care, and giving. I know for a lot of you, you're going to be filling something in the education spot. For me, I have 4 dogs at home, which requires a whole lot of dog food. So I've got how much I spend monthly on dog food for those in there. And then I've also got a section for car and transportation. So how much is your household paying in total car payments? How much are you spending in fuel monthly? And then also, how much are you spending on car maintenance? I know for us, we really try to get our routine oil changes. That way we don't end up with a car emergency that we would need to use our emergency savings for. So I've also got that included as well. Health and wellness. So I am guilty of visiting the salon from time to time. So I do, I'm honest with myself about that in my budget, and I have allotted myself $100 a month to do that with. Also have got some amount in there for toiletry items at the store. I'm also very honest with myself about how much we go out to eat. We don't like to cook. So definitely spending $500 a month in eating out. If we didn't have the money in our budget, we would definitely need to reassess that, but that is something that we enjoy to do. So we do budget ourselves for that, as well as the occasional online shopping spree. Next, we've got a debt section. So how much are you putting monthly towards your student loans? There is a section for that. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in there so you can see that. We're going to say we're putting $150 a month towards student loans. So you can kind of see what that looks like when you enter an amount. I've got an amount in there for helping pay down credit card debt. Also, lastly, there is an insurance section. So health insurance, auto insurance, or any additional life or disability insurance. So if you are on your mobile, this is going to look a little bit different. You will see a reports tab on your right-hand side that you'll want to click on in order to see what I am now seeing on my right-hand side, which is showing if my budget status is balanced or if it's positive or negative. So in this situation, I have a monthly net and I'm positive of about $2,300. So there's where you can really go in and think, okay, so maybe I can be contributing more to my emergency fund. So I'm going to show you how to edit that. So since I've got $2,300 left over, I think I can probably reach my goal a little bit quicker and be contributing a little bit more. So we're going to say that I'm going to move my goal up to December of 2026. So I am now going to start saving $128.57 per month. So that's how it will edit that. And then you want to click start saving and it will alter that goal for you. So definitely encourage you to take use of this budgeting tool. Another neat function is you can actually print this. So you can print it, that way you can have it in a paper copy to keep it top of mind if that's helpful for you as well. Okay, next is thinking of needs versus wants. So while you may have extra money every month, that doesn't mean you should just splurge. So treating yourself once in a while is okay, but you do need to know the difference between needs versus wants. Okay, we're going to go ahead and watch this video on analyzing your budget.
Once you've created a budget, it's time to start analyzing your spending and looking for ways to save money. For this, you're going to have to zero in on all the expenses over which you do have some control, your variable and periodic expenses. Take the time to review all the things that fall under these spending categories and ask yourself whether or not they're really necessary. Could you live without them, or are there cheaper alternatives you could opt for instead? Sometimes you can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars each year just by shopping around for better prices. Another important rule to live by is to spend less than you take home. Assuming you do this already, be smart about whatever leftover income you have at the end of each week or month. One idea for the surplus funds would be to transfer some into the savings account, or alternatively, you could consider investing it. Whatever you do, avoid spending your excess income just for the sake of it. Another strategy for saving money includes limiting your use of credit cards with resulting fees and interest charges. Instead, you can use the surplus in your budget to save up for the expensive items you really want, as opposed to purchasing them on credit. Lastly, take the time to think seriously about what motivates your spending. Do you tend to splurge more on items during times of stress? Are you driven to buy products that you see advertised on social media or being promoted by celebrities? Just like looking for ways to spend less and living within your means, developing an awareness for the psychological factors that make you spend will enable you to better manage your money on an ongoing basis and work towards your financial goals.
All right, and we're going to go ahead and move on from that video to budgeting as a student. So this one should speak directly to you all. So creating a budget for your time in school can be tricky, especially when you have to consider long-term factors such as student loan debt. So let's take a look at some things that you'll need to know. Okay, so this is an article that's going to pop up when you take the course, and for the sake of time, I'm not going to read the entire article to you, but please make sure as you're going through, you do read it. But this piece of content is going to really go over budgeting specifically for students. So really how to take your loans into consideration, how to incorporate line items for the student-specific lifestyle, really how to carve out a time frame, and really how to reduce common student expenses. So really thinking about your priorities. So obviously tuition, books, housing, food, and transportation are all important, but really making sure the decisions that you make about these expenses are smart ones. Okay, so next quiz question. So you can find opportunities to spend less by analyzing your variable and periodic expenses. Do we think this is true or false? True. Thank you so much, Megan. Let's go ahead and submit that. Okay, great job. Okay, so next is looking beyond the numbers. So after really taking a look at your expenses, you may be wondering if there's more you can do to ensure your financial health is really in good shape. So let's take a look at some ways to maximize your money. Okay, we're going to go ahead and watch this short video about what your budget may not tell you.
If you've ever created a budget, you know how helpful it can be to track money coming in and money going out. However, there are a few other money management strategies you need to be aware of to fully maximize your budget to your advantage. One of the big ones is eliminating unnecessary spending. Things like dining out, buying your to-go coffee every day, and splurging on cabs are all things that over time can end up restricting your ability to save. Other tips to keep in mind include not letting yourself be tempted by sales, always taking a list when you go grocery shopping, and ensuring you pay all your bills on time. One other area in which you can be strategic is with the method of payment that you use, as some can be financially smarter than others. With cash, for example, you can physically see the dollars that you're spending, which makes you less likely to splurge on unnecessary items. Credit and debit cards, on the other hand, can often make your money feel abstract, making it much easier to spend recklessly. And of course, with credit cards come additional fees and interest charges, which is the last thing you want if you're trying to save money. Finally, in addition to all these money management strategies, there's one very important step you can take, and that's living green. Making an effort to be environmentally conscious enables you to fulfill two needs with one deed. By reducing waste, conserving electricity, taking public transportation, and opting for secondhand items, you'll save money while also doing good for the planet. While maintaining a budget is extremely important, remember that there are additional strategies you can employ to ensure your financial health is the best it can be.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so which of the following habits can help you spend less? So would you say using a grocery list, paying your bills on time, avoiding tempting sales, or all of the above? All of the above. Thank you so much, Raphael. Awesome, Megan. Okay, let's go ahead and submit that. Okay, great job. Moving on. Okay, so are we really ready to make a change? So now that we know how to assess your budget and identified ways to save money, let's look at some tips and tricks on how to really apply those skills at the store. Okay, so this is a smart shopping infographic. So the platform does contain these, which is really nice for visual people. So this particular one is about spending your hard-earned money wisely, which is really a skill born out of experience with a heavy dose of research. So how do you start? So you can really start by checking out some of these tips and tricks below. So really utilizing comparison shopping. So bringing along your phone to check prices online and amongst other retailers, both large and small. Really comparing apples and oranges. So you really can't adequately compare two products if they aren't the same, right? So companies frequently update products and lower the price of older versions. So some shopping tips you can use are checking the model numbers, buying tech and ensuring storage and memory sizes are the same. And then when it comes to buying a vehicle, really asking for the vehicle history report or model trim name when comparing vehicles. Quality versus price. So finding comparable items for a lower price is great, but not always. Items might be comparable on the surface, but in reality, one is cheaper than the other for a variety of different reasons. So more expensive could mean it's better quality. Less expensive might mean it doesn't have as good quality. So considerations to take in is price drop, really thinking, was the original price overpriced or were there bad reviews on the item? Is there a new model coming out? Cost benefit analysis. So buying a new suit when you have to wear a suit every day for work may be justifiable, but purchasing a new car when you have a job that you can walk to may be questionable. And then also, I really enjoy the hours test. So this really provides an easy way to see exactly how much labor an item is going to cost you. So when considering the purchase of an item, simply divide the cost of the item by your hourly wage to determine how many days or even weeks worth it will cost you. So being a smart shopper begins and ends with good research and understanding the value of the money you have available to you. Armed with those two things, you can be savvy and still have all the things that you want. Okay, so which of these behaviors are you most likely to implement or change by using your budget to the maximum potential? And this could help you later with your I will statement that we're going to make at the very end of the presentation. So thinking of how you're going to move forward, are you going to start using the envelope budgeting or cash method for better control of your finances? Are you going to put surplus in a savings or investment account? Are you going to automate your bill payments each month? Maybe you're going to start to utilize an app or an online tool to track spending, maybe the budgeting tool, cut back on unnecessary expenses, or find additional sources of income. And we'll go ahead and move forward because I am going to have you create an I will statement at the end, but I'm just going to say for me, I'm going to start putting more of the surplus in a savings or investment account to build up my emergency savings fund. Okay, so now that you've learned more about budgeting, it does ask you at the end of every course how you're feeling at the beginning of the course versus how you're feeling after. So we're going to say we're feeling pretty confident after this. Okay, so after you complete a course, it is going to give you a personalized action plan. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, but it also does create a link to explore further commerce solutions. So if you're interested in exploring anything on our Commerce Bank website that was in relation to anything that you looked at, perhaps maybe setting up an emergency savings fund, there's also a completion certificate that I'll show you when we click on the action plan. Okay, so this is the completion certificate and action plan. And as you can see, this has popped up that I've earned 75 points on my milestones for completing this course. So you can also print the certificate if that's something that you would enjoy. Moving on, it shows us our pre-score and post-score. It also shows an analysis, what to do after, and then really what it means. And then it shows your perception. So pre-course, we were not so confident in budgeting, but after we took the course, we were feeling pretty confident in budgeting. This also shows our poll question results. So depending upon how people answered this when they were going through the course, it shows you a percentage of how people answered. So we clicked on school or education so that we could get some more education specific knowledge. But this one does say that 28% of folks did click that response, but I saw a lot of foods coming through the chat. So if you were in that boat, it looks like 33% of people also chose food. Okay, and then this is the personalized action plan. So depending upon how we answered that, it's showing us that number one, we need to make sure that we ask for help to stay on track. We need to really be honest with our spending, which is really important when filling out that budgeting tool. Start making regular payments on your student loans. Celebrate when you reach milestones. And then really maximize those savings. If you've got money left over after you do your budget, making sure that you're putting that money in the right place. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move back to the dashboard. And I'm just going to highlight one more time the Commerce Connects and Solutions. So if you do have any questions as you're moving through and want to get connected with anybody, you can definitely click the email commerce button or call this number shown right here. But we're going to go ahead and navigate back to the presentation. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move into our call to action. So we do have a few action items for you today. So if you didn't register earlier before we received the live demo, please go ahead and go in and register for My Milestones if you haven't already. So Matt's going to go ahead and place the URL in the chat since it's probably moved up in the queue with all of your great participation. And go ahead and scan the QR code to sign up as well if you'd like to do so from your phone. Okay, so the next call to action is to go in and complete the same steps. So you will be going in and completing the Creating a Budget and Sticking to It course if you did not do so on your own. And please make sure you answer the questions based on your own unique financial experience. And then at Commerce, we really like to do I will statements. So we are going to go ahead and type in an I will statement that you will start doing in regards to your budget. So I know for me, mine is I'm going to stop buying lunch while I'm at work because I definitely want that extra money that it showed when we were going through the graphs. And I'll give you all about 30 seconds to think about what your I will statement is and go ahead and type that in the chat if you're comfortable. And while you all are doing that, the last couple things on this slide is just making sure that you utilize that budgeting tool that I showed you. And then there's also an article, Start Here guide, everything you need to know about budgeting, which would be really helpful and was not included in the course. Love that, Cassandra, starting to make cold brew at home. That Starbucks gets expensive. Take lunch and snacks to work. Awesome, Christina. I did that myself today. Thank you so much. Do we have any others coming through before we go ahead and, okay, decrease my online shopping adventures. Thanks so much, Jennifer. Agreed. Learn to home cook instead of eating out. Packing a lunch and not leaving it at home every day, that's difficult. Hey, but at least you tried, right? So it's the effort that counts. Hopefully you have someone that can run home and put it back in the fridge for you and you can bring it tomorrow. Amazon gets you every time. Agreed. Order groceries online rather than in the store. That's a great point, because then you'd have maybe some more time to compare prices if you're at home rather than doing it in real time at the store, eating at home. Great. Thank you all so much. Great engagement. Let's go ahead and move into our Q&A. But before we do that, this is my contact information, so please reach out to me with any questions as you're navigating the platform. I'm definitely happy to connect you with a specialist if you need more assistance from perhaps a banker, someone in mortgage, or maybe a financial advisor. Or feel free to use the Connect with Commerce button on the left-hand side of your dashboard that I showed you. So this PDF of the presentation will be sent out to all of the attendees by our partners at WGU after we provide that to them. And we'll go ahead and move into our Q&A. So please let us know if there's any roadblocks you anticipate with having a budget, if there's still maybe anything you're feeling uncertain about that we might be able to help you with, or if anybody just has any remaining questions about the platform itself. Happy to answer any questions that come through. I know we have 12 minutes left with you all, so happy to stick on and help anyone if they need it. Love that, Jennifer. Budget with groceries better and stick to the list. That's a hard one. Don't ever go to the grocery store hungry. I don't see anything. Yeah, same. Don't see anything coming through, but we'll hang on just a few more minutes, but happy to give you back anytime back to your day. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us today to learn some more about my milestones and to really dig into budgeting. And I'll hand it back over to Kristen if she's got anything else that she'd like to add.
I was just going to thank you so much, Ashley. This was wonderful. My Milestones is a really great resource that you have access to as a student and even after you've graduated. So definitely want to take advantage of that. As a reminder, the session was recorded. So if you joined late or if you had to step away for a little bit, you will be receiving a copy of the recording tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording in case you would prefer to ask your questions off the record.